So they go very much by the book, right? Because remember, it gets a lot more complex than what I've given you guys, right? Like, just to give you an idea, the reason why the estimation is so important and you finishing is important is because there's this thing called velocity that measures how fast you move, which means it's how fast the team moves, because you can have individual velocity and then a team velocity. So there's a lot of scrum masters that go just by velocity, right? Like, okay, I have my faster people and my slower people, and that's how I'm like, they're very like by the book, like this is what the numbers say, so that's what I'm doing. And then of course you have people who will do the politics and stuff like that. So it really just depends. It really just depends. There is no single answer for that, Rex. But again, I'm just giving you guys like the high level view, right? Like it goes a lot deeper than this. Like even I'll admit that I don't know everything because it's kind of hard. But it gets a lot more complex. Okay. One of the things in Agile is the fact that they should always work on teams, right? No, not always, Leo. I have been on one person Agile teams. Not common, but it does happen. It does happen. Yeah. I was in a very unique situation at IBM once where I was my own team and my own scrum master because it was a one person team. When I was at IBM my first time, I became a specialist in a very like esoteric type of software package. So I would be assigned to work with teams who just needed like that one specialty. So yeah, like you can have like specialists who are like, like they know what they're doing, they're advanced in their career, and you can make them one person agile teams. That does happen. Not common, but not rare. Lakshmi says, how much time does it take to design stories? Meaning that Chief Data Scientist, how much time usually assign to come up with a complete planning of the stories? It can take a while, Lakshmi. It can take a while, but it's the first thing you do. First thing you do is you sit down and do your stories. And like I said, when I'm doing one of those teams, or when I'm doing one of those meetings, pack a lunch. Pack a lunch. It's like I would expect to walk out like at a place like IBM when it's like where it's like a lot of things to, like complex projects. You're gonna have like a couple hundred stories, right? It's a long day. A long day. Rahul says, if the story fails, your story ends. No. The short answer is no. The complex answer is that there's something known as carryover in Agile, where you have to carry over a story from one sprint to another one. But you better have a really good reason why that's the case. Because if you don't have a good reason, that means your planning failed, right? You had a bad story to begin with. So no, it doesn't end. It's known as carryover. So if you want to Google that, Google Agile carryover. But generally, that's something you want to avoid. Okay? Sam, I think it's your first time. Welcome. Hi, sir. I really like your content. Sometimes I'm unable to attend your live session, and sometimes I would like to review the concepts from your video. Can you please share the link of the live streams? It's on my YouTube. If you go to my YouTube, you can go to Data Science with Dennis. Everything I do is saved up there in perpetuity. Rex, if you could take care of some modding over there, I'd appreciate it. Coding Mood says, how frequently is Agile used? What are the other alternatives? Actually, give me just a second here, guys. Thanks for that, Rex. Sorry, I forgot where I was. Sorry, I got thrown off there, guys. Yeah, so how frequently is Agile used? What are the other alternatives? Yeah, great question, Coding Mood. In software development, highly popular. The other, so generally speaking, you're going to hear about two things. You're going to hear about Agile methods and waterfall methods. So Agile methods is what we covered today. The other method is waterfall methods. I'm not an expert in waterfall methods, but that is more of what people think about when they think of project planning. You know, it's very time sequenced, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and then there's a dependency here, you know, right? But generally speaking, I'm guessing that there's others. You're going to hear about Agile or waterfall, but it's much more common to find software development and data science teams that work under Agile. If you're doing more like BI development or just like traditional business projects, you know, if you decide to leave data science, you're going to find waterfall methods. That's the name of it. Leo says siloed production environments, which is not common anymore. Sorry, Leo, I'm not 100% sure what you were referring to there. Lawman says great content. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Again, guys, maybe not the standard, data science stuff, but this is how it's done, right? And like I said, maybe it will help you guys think about your projects, even your hobby stuff, right? Excuse me. Even your hobby stuff at home, maybe think about it a different way. What would the story for this look like? What would the tasks for this look like? Right? Start thinking about that. It's going to help you. I guarantee you that this is one of those things that you can walk into an interview or whatever and say, yeah, I'm familiar with Agile. I can write my own stories. I can write my own tasks. No problem. That's going to make you guys stand out, right? Because that tells me, the hiring manager, that you're ready to go on day one, right? Only when Fatima says, only when we were using it could one of us assist another if they encountered a problem with their story. So it wasn't a professional approach. Sorry, Fatima, I'm a little lost. I know you were asking about multiple people working on a story, and I told you that they could work on a task. Or maybe you're talking about the carryover? If you're talking about the carryover and you come up with a problem that makes you carry it over, that's fine, right? You'll have to have a good accounting of that, right? But yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to carry over a story, but you generally do want to avoid it, right? Because again, if you don't have a reason for it, then yes, the story was poorly written, right? And your manager would usually review your story before signing off on it. So it's not that it wasn't a professional approach, just that there was a mistake somewhere, right? Like, it was written poorly and it should have never been signed off on. Right? Now, whose fault is that? Who knows, right? But, I mean, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Fatima, or maybe I'm just misunderstanding, because I guess I'm not 100% clear on what you wrote there. Leo says, okay, he was referring to the waterfall process when he talked about siloed production environments, which is not common anymore. It's not common in data science and software development, but in other instances, Leo, it is, right? Like if you're just working like on a construction project or something, right? Like construction projects use waterfall methods. But again, in that scenario, I'm talking about somebody who decides to leave data science, and go do something else or whatever. All right, guys, we've gone for 2.5 hours. You guys are crazy to do this. I can't believe these sessions are like this. But guess what? Good news. We got a plan in place, right? So next week, we're going to start working on the methodology. We're going to start moving on this, right? So we're going to start actually doing stuff next week. We're going to have some ideation, right? We're going to have some ideation. We're going to talk back and forth, and we're going to go from there, right? So I'm looking forward to next week's session, and I hope you guys can see the progression that we're building on. We got a contract. We got our plans in place. We're more educated on Agile now. You know, feel free to educate yourselves further. Highly encourage that. And we're going to go from there. Lakshmi's closing statement here. Really structured session as always. Thanks for sharing the meaningful insights. Same time, keeping it simple. I appreciate that, Lakshmi. That's one of my skills that I take pride in. You know, I can break things down. But yeah, if you guys found that helpful, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. But you know, I stream every day, 1500 GMT. I know some of you are there every day, so really appreciate your support. And as always, you know, please take care of yourselves. Please take care of your families, and I'll see you next time.